Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. In this video I will give you a very quick farming guide for the rerun of the Christmas 2022 event, aka Karna. Just like with all previous lottery event reruns, the maximum number of lotto boxes we can open in this rerun is 20. So despite having a new level 90++ node that it's very easy to farm, we can't really spend our apples here to take full advantage of this new node. That doesn't mean that this new level 90++ node is useless. In fact, if we combine its good drop rates with the limited number of lotto boxes we can open, we can justify bringing bond bonus CEs while farming, instead of the usual full lineup of lotto CEs like in regular lotteries. If you have farmed the original event, you should already have some maximally unbroken copy of the lotto CE, so you can just give it to the frontline servants in your party, while your backline will have bond bonus CEs, or if you want to clear the shop faster, event gacha CEs. We don't really need to maximize our lotto drop bonus to reach 20 lotto boxes. You should also keep in mind that this is the last event we'll get until the expiration date of our teacups. So the level 90++ node of this rerun is the last repeatable free quest available with high bond rewards. Add to the fact that this event has event bonus servants with bond bonus, and that as usual we can bring Mash in the backline for 5% extra bond bonus, and you should see the reason why I advise to bring some bond bonus C in the backline. This lack of focus on the lotto C also mean that you can bring a maximally unbroken Black Grail C in order to reach the damage required more easily without needing to worry about losing efficiency when it comes to the lottery. Taking a look at the new level 90++ node added in this rerun, the first thing that should strike you is that this is a node with only berserkers enemies. More specifically, we have one big mob in wave 1 with around 300 HPs, followed by 3 lower HP mobs in wave 2 with around 100 HPs, and finally we have Raiko with 1 million HPs in wave 3 together with another lower HP enemy mob. This is probably the easiest level 90++ node to farm as of today in NA. The combination of berserker enemies with a free starting MP charge lotto C and the possibility of bringing Black Grail C without losing efficiency means that team variety is really off the chart for this node. If you have a really invested DPS, either AoE or single target, and you want to farm bond with them, you'll probably find a way to slot them in your farming team for this node. And even if that's not the case, you can take full advantage of all the different traits Raiko has, which makes her vulnerable to all kind of different damage dealers. A good chunk of them also gets damage bonus from this event. In other words, unlike previous level 90++ nodes, this time you shouldn't really struggle to reach the required damage. There are mainly 4 ways to farm this new level 90++ node. The most reliable one is to use a multi-core farming comp with a primary single target DPS that will deal with the mob in wave 1 as well as Raiko in wave 3, together with a secondary AoE DPS that will deal with wave 2 as well as the mob in wave 3, helping dealing damage to Raiko at the same time. Another way to tackle this node is to focus on a primary AoE DPS that will deal with both wave 2 and wave 3, accompanied by a secondary single target DPS that will deal with the mob in wave 1. In other words, we are still looking at a multi-core comp, but this time the AoE DPS is the primary one on which we want to focus all our supports buffs, while for the secondary single target DPS we want someone that can deal with the mob in wave 1 without any external help, and that can ideally help buffs the primary AoE DPS. There are servants that can deal with Raiko even with an AoE NP, but of course the damage checks are much tighter compared to the previous method. For our third method, we can once again focus on a single target DPS as our primary one, that will deal with the mob in wave 1 and Raiko in wave 3, just like in the first method we have mentioned, but this time the secondary AoE DPS will only deal directly with the second wave, using his MP only a single time, so the lone mob in wave 3 will have to be dealt with using crits. For this strategy, Douman is particularly helpful, since he can insta-kill 2 of the mobs in wave 2, while buffing the critical damage of all your teammates. You will see an example of such a team in the farming section at the end of this video. My advice is to use DPS and supports that can kill regardless of RNG for face cards. In other words, quick servants with chaotic evil alignment are the best target for this Douman strategy. The fourth and final strategy is of course using a single core farming comp. Given the number of exploitable traits that Raiko has, there are quite a few AoE DPS that can be used in a single core looping comp. For this strategy, the main problem will probably be the mob in wave 1, since it doesn't have any overlap with Raiko traits. So you'll probably have to bring Black Grail even if your DPS can deal enough damage to Raiko without it. Otherwise, we are talking about hyper level 120 and P5 DPS. In this final part of the video, I will as usual give you guys my personal ranked list of the best possible farming comps for the level 90++ node. Since the number of farming comps available this time around is really high, probably the highest among all level 90++ nodes so far, for the reasons we have discussed in the first part of this video, I will therefore limit myself to only 6-slot farming comp. So no Black Grail single core looping comps for example, and as a consequence no single core looping comps at all, since without Black Grail you will need a hyper DPS in order to reach the required damage. Furthermore, I will mainly limit myself to comps that don't require double support, in order to give you farming teams that are available to a larger pool of players. There will be only a couple of teams with double support, and they are only there to showcase some of the less efficient way to farm this level 90++ node we have discussed before, aka the Douman crit strategy. All the remaining comps will be ranked from best to worst, taking into account availability for the servants, NP levels and bond bonus. If you have found this type of content useful, please consider supporting me, even just by leaving a like, a comment and subscribing to the channel. I'm reaching the point where I'm really struggling to find the free time to make these guides, and that's mainly because 2024 has been such a tough year for me, so any help and feedback from you guys is a godsend. I will now leave you to the farming comps. Thank you very much for watching. I hope I will see you again next time. Bye bye.